Hey everybody, friends call me Rosie, welcome to my backyard. Today I'm super excited because I'm making almost 20 pounds of pork. That's right, I'm making 2 Boston butts 2 different ways. I'm going to be cooking one of them on my Weber Kettle grill and the other is getting cooked on my Traeger Pro, just to put them to the test and see which one makes the better barbecue. I'm going to base this on 4 criteria. Number 1, smokiness. Number 2, juiciness. 3, tenderness. And 4, how easy it is to make. I'm going to show you step by step how to make your pork butt on both of these systems and lay out everything you'll need for an awesome cook. Let's get started. Whether you're a backyard chef like me or a competition pro, you probably already know a pork butt is a juicy, tender cut of meat that's really forgiving and easy to make. Plus, it's an affordable way to feed a crowd. We're talking sandwiches, tacos, nachos, mac and cheese, any recipe you can think of. Pork butt is super easy and more importantly, it's super hard to mess up. And even if you do, there's nothing a little au jus can't fix. You ready to get started? We'll actually rewind to 9 p.m. the night before. Before I head to bed, I want to get these butts out of their packages, trimmed up and seasoned so we're ready to cook in the morning. You can find Boston butts at the meat counters of the big warehouse stores. You can also find them at your local grocery, it depends. You can also drop in on your local butcher, but these are pretty easy to find. Mine came in at about $16.41. This was from Sam's Club. Both of these weigh about 8¼ pounds. Bone-in is the key to keep the meat from falling apart around it while it cooks. If you can't find a bone-in cut, just use some butcher's twine to tie it around the whole cut so it holds everything together. We're just taking a quick little inspection. These are really, really nice. You feel the bone-in right there. First thing you want to do, just make sure there's no bone shrapnel where they butcher it. That stuff can splinter. You definitely don't want any of your guests biting into a piece of bone, so I'm just going to feel around for those. And now I'm going to take a dry paper towel and wipe them off. All I'm doing is patting this dry, getting as much of the juices from the bag off of it as possible. Next up, I just want to find any pieces that are kind of hanging on. I've got my sharp knife here. Hey, the butcher did a pretty good job with these. I don't really find much that's got to come off here. Maybe just that little hanger on. Any of these little bits are just gonna dry out, burn up, not good for eating, so they're coming right off. One of my favorite parts about pork butt is it's very low effort on the trim. I can really just stop here. Look at all I took off. This might not be common, but just the little hangers on. I'm checking that the fat caps are about 1/4 inch thick. Oh, there's a little bit. You don't want to remove too much fat from these butts because that is pure flavor. This fat cap is going to seal in all the juices and it's going to render, so it's a double whammy. Just about 1/4 inch of fat cap. If there was any more, I'd remove it. This is looking pretty good. Maybe just a little extra fat here. Yeah, you can see see where it's raised here. This is some hard fat. Now, not all of that will render during the cook, so I'll just shave it a little bit. At this point, some folks will score the fat cap. I don't do that because I just don't think it makes that much of a difference. So as far as trimming, we are done. Now it's time to season these butts. I've got a dry hand, as you can see, so we can start our seasoning. Today I'm using Honey Hog Barbecue Rub from Meat Church. Sweet, just a little bit of savory. It's great for pork from way up top. And we're just gonna try to get even coverage over this whole butt. I'm gonna use my gloved hand to pat that in. Of course, we're gonna go over the entire thing. I'm not using a binder before I season because I really don't need one. These are going to be sitting in my fridge all night long. I don't really need any extra help adhering. But some folks use mustard, some folks use olive oil, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce. You use what you like. You can always do this the morning of trimming and seasoning. You're just going to want to let the meat sit out for a little while, about 15 minutes, just to let it sweat and absorb all of this. But I find the best results when I let this sit overnight in the old beer fridge. Ooh, look at that mess I made. Once again, I'm just patting the seasoning down. I'm not rubbing it side to side. I really don't want it to clump up. Then you get a bite that's just full of raw spice. Another way you can make this juicy and flavorful, you can inject it with a mix of juices and vinegar, and then something sweet like brown sugar and honey, maple syrup, stuff like that, and just inject it into the muscle. I'm opting not to do that. We're keeping this simple. All right, my butts are seasoned up. I'm gonna put these butts to bed and get my butt to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Hey everybody, good morning, good morning. These butts have been sweating out overnight, and just look at how much that Seasoning has just melted right in. I really don't think there's any substitute for letting these things rest overnight. Again, if you're strapped for time, you don't have to do it, but man, I do think it makes a really big difference. I've let these here just sitting on the stove top just to let these get back to room temperature while I light the grill. Now let's get our Weber grill going. First, I'm going to take out this grate and this little basket that I left inside, and I'm going to lay down a large aluminum pan right where the pork is going to go. Now I'm going to fill the entire thing with charcoal all around the pan. Today I'm using the snake method. I'm going to light them on one end and let them burn across these coals and these wood chunks that I'm adding. I'm using apple, but you could easily use cherry, hickory, pecan, really any fruit wood, anything you prefer. Tear up some cardboard and put it in the pan, and take one of my handy dandy natural fire starting tumbleweeds. Put that right over there and give it a light. I'm going to set down my chimney starter and throw in a handful of coals. These are what I'm going to get my fire started with. Once those are looking white, throw them right in here, toss the lid back on, and let that ride. Now for the Traeger, I'm just going to make sure the hopper is filled with pellets. For this one, I'm using hickory. And I'm going to set it to 275. Now there's nothing to do but wait for both of these to come up to temp. Weber's been temping around 265, and it hasn't really moved in quite a few minutes, so close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades, close enough for me. Take the lid off and quickly put on butt number 1. And I almost forgot, I picked up one of these the other day. This is a Bluetooth thermometer from Thermomaven. I'm going to stick this in the thickest part of the meat, just making sure I avoid any of the bone. The handy thing about this is it'll tell you different temperature zones. So the thickest part of your meat, the thinner outer part of your meat, and then the ambient temperature as well. So that'll help me keep track of my Weber's temperature. Put it in there and see if I can avoid the bone. I think I have. Perfect. Looks like we got a long way to go. Our target temp on these is going to be 160 before we wrap, and we'll want to finish up around 200, probably a little bit over. Top and bottom vents are wide open. Gonna let this burn around 275 with that apple wood, really imbuing some nice smoky flavor. I'm thinking the Weber is gonna beat the Traeger on smoke, but we'll see how it comes out. Now time to put on the second butt. The Traeger's running at exactly 275, just where I want it. I like 275 because I think it gives me the best results in the amount of time I want to cook. The big advantage of these electric pellet smokers is that they are set and forget. As long as you keep this hopper full, you are good to walk away from it. You can make this cook overnight. It'll keep going. I'll open this just about every hour or so to make sure it's not crisping up too fast. And if it is, I'll hit it with some of my secret ingredient spritz. It's been about an hour and a half. Let's see how our Weber butt is doing. Ooh, that looks awesome already. Glossy from the fat that's starting to melt down. I see just a spot here that can use some spritz. Otherwise, we're going to let this go. Let's close this back up. Temperature's riding around 280. I'll keep opening and closing the vents to control airflow. This is looking really good. Going to go check the Traeger over here and see how it's looking. So far, ruby red color. Just a couple spots down here that I'd want to spritz with some apple cider vinegar. Keep it moist and juicy. Other side looks pretty good too. And just a little dusting on top. You want to be careful, just very light spritzes. You don't want to soak it. We're working on some excellent bark, and too much spritz is the enemy of that bark. It's about 11 o'clock, and just to show you where we're at temperature-wise, our Weber butt is temping in the middle at 112.6. Meanwhile, over on the Traeger, using my instant read thermometer, I just checked it. We are neck and neck here. We're about 110, 112. Just to demonstrate, these are both cooking pretty similarly. And I'm going to check back in about 45 minutes, and I'll show you that secret spritz I've been working on. So we're looking at almost 4 hours of grilling time here. Wow, our Weber butt is looking dark. We were running some pretty heavy smoke. In fact, you can see how heavy it is. My silver thermometer is now black as coal. Now I'm going to change up my spritz to that secret spritz I was talking about. It's Dr. Pepper. Put my spray bottle nozzle just right in the soda bottle. I like to give this a good little bit of coverage. The sugar in the soda is going to caramelize and turn real sweet, almost like we're glazing it. So we're going to keep this going. These are temping at about 130 now, so I don't have much longer to go. Soon we're going to wrap these. Even though we're not getting heavy smoke from the Traeger, this is a beautiful color for a pork butt to be at this stage. Get that cola all over. Let that glaze caramelize all over the skin, crisp up. We don't want to do this too soon before we want to take these off. I'm going to say this is about an hour away from time to wrap. Our butt is now ready to come off at 165 internal. Man, that's a lot of smoke that got. Stick it right in. And I'm going to take this to the table. Now that I've got it on the table, I'm going to take out my meat thermometer. I'll reinsert that in a minute. First, what I want to do is take the rub that I used earlier and go back over it. Ooh, and it is a windy day out here. I'm going to try not to lose all this seasoning. Going to give it a little extra on the top. Now we're going to put down some pats of butter. It's going to melt all over our pork butt here. See if I can get that there. Perfect. Now I'm going to go in and dust it with a little bit of brown sugar. This is going to add some sweetness. As the butter melts, it's going to melt that brown sugar down. It's going to dissolve. And this pan is going to catch all our juices, which we will use a little bit later. That seems pretty good to me. Before we put that back on the fire, our thermometer is going to go right back in. Back on the Weber it goes. I'll let you in on a secret since it's just us friends. I don't like wrapping my meat and putting it back on the Traeger just because I'm only looking for a heat source right now. There's no smoke flavor going to be put on this meat while it's all wrapped up. I don't want to waste all of those Traeger pellets, which are not cheap, unfortunately. I want to save those for a future cook. So I put my meat into a preheated oven instead, so I still get that heat source and finish the cook, and I can save those for future use. Little Rosie's tip for you. Now that we're in the heat of the day, it's time to prepare a basic vinegar slaw. I'm going to start with this head of red cabbage. I've cut that in half, and I'm just going to slice it into thin strips. I'm going to separate everything out here quickly with my hands, and then I'm going to rough chop it just to get some of these pieces a little smaller. Now I'm going to take a washed and peeled carrot and shave that up into some nice long strips and give those a rough chop too. Then I'm going to add them all to the same bowl and give them a quick mix. Now let's do a dressing. It starts with some apple cider vinegar, just about a half a cup. Now I'm going to add some hot honey I picked up at the store. I'm just going to use the last bit of that, and some spicy brown mustard. Here's my heaping tablespoon. You use how much you like. Now we're going to add some more citrus and acid to this dressing. Here's the juice of half a lime, and some salt and ground black pepper. A drizzle of olive oil finishes this off. Now we're ready to whisk it for the biscuit. Once that's thoroughly combined, I'm just going to pour the dressing over my vegetable mixture, and I'm going to go in with my hands and mix it all up. It really is that simple. Now just time to wrap it up and put it in the fridge. Now that that's done, I'm going to improvise a little barbecue sauce here, starting with some butter right in the pan, and then a half of a rough chopped onion that I had left over from another recipe. Once those get acquainted, I'm going to add 2 peeled garlic cloves, and then I'm going to add something fun, some Green River wheated bourbon. I was able to tour the distillery earlier this month. It's the 10th oldest licensed distillery in Kentucky. They revived the label a few years ago and have been making award-winning bourbon on the same site ever since. So this will be a real treat to put into my sauce today. The bonus of adding some bourbon is that if I have any brown bits on the bottom of my pan, I can scrape them up easily and let this reduce about 2 minutes as that deglazes. Next, something sweet, some maple syrup. I have just about half a cup left. Next, I'm going to raid my spice cabinet with some garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper, ground mustard, and some paprika. This is starting to smell really good. I think it needs a little something. I'm going to add about a half a cup of ketchup. This will add some tomatoey flavor and some color. It's smelling like Montgomery Inn sauce. Now for some apple cider vinegar, I used about a quarter cup and just a little more bourbon. Measure with your heart. I'm going to cover this and let it go for about 5 to 7 minutes. Then I'm going to bust out the immersion blender and start breaking up those solids, using about a quarter cup of water at a time to thin it out until it starts getting real smooth. Time for a taste test. Vinegary, sweet, just a little bit of heat. Perfect for my pulled pork sandwich. It's about 5:15, and this butt is temping around 200. All we're going to do is take this inside. We'll wait for the Weber butt to catch up. It's about 5 degrees behind. Ooh, there's no resistance at all. Oh, like it's going into butter. Perfect. This is ready. We know that we're probe tender. Let's see what happened while we were all covered up. Still very dark. Look at all that juice that's just sitting in there. Let's see what we've got. Oh, wow. Beautiful color. Just look at that. Tons of that liquid gold. Oh, man. I just have to reserve some of this. Ooh-wee. All good there. Let's get it on this wire rack to rest for a little bit. Man, 2 different butts, same seasonings, same time on the grill. Very, very different. Our Weber got a whole lot more smoke. Our Traeger is a very nice mahogany color. Just feeling it like this, it's not as tender. This feels like it's gonna fall apart in my hands. So we're gonna shred these up. First, we're gonna do the clean bone test. Oh, 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 oh no. Got a little bit of a sticker there, but there's our clean bone. Oh, and that's nice shredding up like that. For the Traeger, it's on the other side. Oh, comes out clean like that. Some people like to use the bones to mash up the meat. I don't. I just like to go in with my hands. Weber first. Now, since it's this dark, I'm hoping that the smoke ring penetrated all the way through. Take off this fat cap here. Lots of pink meat in here. That's just too easy. And very, very juicy. Whoa. That smoke ring penetrated all the way through, almost to the middle. Wow. Oh, wow. The cat loves it. So very nice. It's a little mushy. Let's tear up this Traeger butt. Take this fat cap right off. Ooh, look at that. Nice and pink inside. We're just going to take the fat off. I can always put it back on, but I hate a bite of my sandwich that's just full of fat. Ooh. It squirted at me. Oh, it's a little tougher in the middle, but hey, listen, it's still breaking apart in my hands. I don't see why your teeth couldn't get through it. Wow. I think the Weber's pork might just be a little mushier than this. Some of these little pieces are just a little stiffer. If you rest it maybe 10 more minutes, all the steam wouldn't be coming out. Listen, I can't wait all night. And just because I have this fat separator, I'll be able to pour some juice over all of them. Perfect. Just enough so they're not swimming in it, but super juicy and easy to eat. Now for a little taste test. First, the Weber. Sweet, savory. Honestly, tastes like a campfire. Really good. She likes it. Now for the Traeger. You have to go. I can't do my review. For smokiness, I think the Weber runs away with it. This tastes like a literal campfire. Very nice. I think with some barbecue sauce, this would just be perfect. So that's point number 1 for the Weber. Point number 2, juiciness. I think the Traeger might have it beat. A more consistent temperature over time. It's tender and juicy without being mushy. And for that reason, I think the Traeger also wins on tenderness. This is really, really nice. I would not mind having this on my sandwich, but this stuff, super good. The tubes are nice. It shreds just, I don't even have to do any effort with my fingers. It's perfect, but without being mushy. That's why I like the Traeger just a little bit better. The 4th category, of course, was how easy is this to make? It's no contest. The Traeger is set and forget. The Weber, you have to babysit a little bit. I had some flare-ups. I had some temperature drops. I mean, it's great if you have all day to sit with it, but if you're a guy on the go like me, the Traeger might be more your speed. All right, y'all, I've got some really good pork here. I mean, seriously, both of these trays are awesome. Let's go ahead and build a sandwich. If it's not falling off, it's not a good sandwich. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you give this a try, no matter what system you have, leave a like and a comment. Let me know how it goes. And in the meantime, I'm going to chow down on this awesome pork sandwich. I'll see you next time for more ASM Barbecue, Rosie Cooks, and much, much more. Later, guys.